I also loved when she sat down to talk to Sean and she was like, look at me when you're talking to me. I said, come on, Belle. Yes, tell him off. Get him again.
Hello and welcome to Love Island The Morning After Podcast, the only place for a full villa debrief. I'm Indiyah Polack.
And I'm Amy Hart, and this week we are joined by, she's basically like Beyonce because she only needs one name. It's Sarel.
Drop it. Hey, guys.
Morning. The queen of the Love Island debrief.
I love a good Love Island debrief. Isn't it just so much fun?
It's so much fun. Honestly, I've been watching your debriefs and cracking up.
Stop it.
We could talk about it all week.
We can talk about it all week. It's going to be a good week.
How are you enjoying the series?
Honestly, I'm really liking it. I thought they've got a good cast. You've got some good personalities in there. We've had a couple of episodes that I'm like, okay, they're a bit on the slower side, but overall...
But you need that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They've given us a lot today, so...
Yeah.
So, I can't complain too much, you know what I mean, Jay?
Well, something that I didn't think we'd be talking about tonight from previous episodes is the undeniable connection between Lucinda and Sean that appears to have manifested itself somewhere. Romance or showmance?
Showmance. Like,
easily.
Honestly, I was so shocked, but to be honest, it's Lucinda, so am I really shocked? You know?
Do you think she was bored? Do you think it's because he got voted the favourite? But I mean, I'm quite confused by the whole situation because she obviously went for an already established couple in Sammy and Kieran and ended up in the bottom three. So then to go for another sort of established couple straight after that, you think, surely, no, there's literally loads of single boys there that you can go and talk to.
And also, I guess, off of the back of like Tommy leaving to go to Villa USA, it was like, behave yourself, be good.
Exactly. What about
don't
me?
forget about me.
Yeah.
All these things. And then he comes back and it's like, oh, me and Sean have this undeniable connection.
So
and we've been talking so much. And it's like, well, what was it?
Was that all a lie?
Who knows?
Like, Lucinda saying, oh, wait for me. So that's why I'm sticking by the situation is that Lucinda's bored. Because I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot and she got to go to Villa USA, she wouldn't be thinking about Sean. She wouldn't be thinking about Tommy. She'd be over there grafting and finding a new guy. So I think it's come out of a place of boredom and also Lucinda not wanting to be by herself. And the fear of the unknown. She doesn't know what Tommy's doing over there and she doesn't want to be left by herself.
Yeah. And I think that that plays in your psyche. Like,
100%.
They're not behaving or what are they doing? And I think that's what Sean did. Because at the beginning when Sean and Lucinda were talking, it was kind of like, oh no, I'm trying to be respectful of mine and Belle's situation and, we're getting along. And then obviously, Lucinda was applying the pressure. She was like, no, we need to talk. And it was like, whoa, calm down, girlie. But after having all those conversations, he then is like, but what is she up to over there?
Yeah.
So I think he got a bit into his head as well.
100%.
It's making me think now, when she was like, what about me? I originally thought that was like, to Tommy, sort of like, what about me? What about you and me type thing. But now I feel like it was like, you guys have been invited over to Villa USA. And she's like,
what about me?
Why haven't I been invited? I'm a main character in this villa.
Yeah.
Not my words, the words of Belle Hassan. Storyline, airtime. Not my words. What do we think about that? Do we think that could be where it's from? Or do we think she actually likes Sean? Because Sean is a nice boy. That could be an avenue. They could actually like each other.
Is Sean that nice though? For all of this hullabaloo, I don't think so. Because she could have just waited until they came back and then just been like, I kind of want to get to know Sean. I know me and you are mates or, we're friendly in the villa. Like, I don't know. I don't
understand it personally. Like, I do think I wouldn't even say it's a connection. I'd say they get along, but just because they're villa mates. I don't think there's a romantic connection. I do think Sean finds Lucinda very attractive. And I think that's kind of what he's got caught up in. I think he's thinking about the attraction, like the initial attraction, not the connection. And I kind of stand by what Sammy was saying and the point where, like, if Belle was in the villa, would you be doing this?
Yeah.
And the fact that the answer is actually no goes to show that maybe your intentions aren't as pure and you're just a bit bored, Lucinda.
I mean, Sammy said to her, like, I personally wouldn't do that. Belle's your mate. And then Lucinda's temperamental memory was on that day.
She remembered the dinner.
When she started saying about, you said I shouldn't even get to know him. And Sammy said, I did not say that. No, yes, you did. No, I did not say that. And sort of said it back to her. I can't decide whether Lucinda's trying to go like sort of femme fatale, like walking around in like the black dress and the scrape back hair and just trying to give seductress. But then on the other hand, she's also doing like the I'm so cute, I'm so goofy, I'm so funny, like trying to get Sean that way.
I feel like whether it's boredom or storyline or I don't know. There's a boy here who I would like to have a little flirt with. I do think she's trying to get him from every single avenue she can. Like one time it's like, oh, I'm the girl next door and I'm cutesy wootsy. And then the next moment it's like, oh yeah, I really want to kiss you and I'm gonna like slither through the villa. And it's a bit like, what's going on here? I'm confused. But I don't know. I feel like with Lucinda, you never know. Tomorrow, Lucinda could be on Yemen. On, Wednesday, she's on Carrington. We don't know. We don't know. The cameraman's got it coming as well. We just don't know with Lucinda. You never know.
I mean, someone who I don't think should be honest is Zach, because did you notice that although like when they first came in, Millie and Lucinda were a bit sort of not frosty towards each other, but obviously they'd been best friends before, and now they're not. We still haven't found that out, by the way. Another week, we still don't know. And did you notice when they all came back from Villa USA, she was straight on Millie, hugging her, screaming, I've missed you so much, I've missed you so much. And do you think it's like, right, I'm going to need an ally in this villa now?
1,000%.
100%. And I also do think it could potentially come from a place of guilt, because although Lucinda is putting herself first, I think deep down Lucinda does know she's probably not making the right decision. It's not the most like girl decision. She knows that a few girls are going to be like, maybe you shouldn't have done this, babe. I mean, if Sammy's already saying that, what are the rest of the girls going to think, So I think it was definitely a bit that.
Yeah, I think in her head, she's like, I need a friend in my corner and I need somebody who hasn't seen me act a mess. I need someone who I can tell my version of events to, who's going to be like, oh, but Lucinda said it like this to me. I think she needs somebody in her corner because it was frosty when Belle walked over and all the girls were kind of debriefing at the sofas. And it was like, this is awkward, but this is what happens when, you cross boundaries.
Now, we talked a lot about Lucinda. She's not the only person in this. It does take two to tango.
100%.
And Sean has announced at the fire pit and then to Belle on the daybeds that he does have like a really good thing going on with Lucinda in the space of about 12 hours. Do we think he's making the right decision?
No, Sean. The thing is with Sean, it's like, I think people root for him to make the right decisions. And each time he's presented with an opportunity to do something correct, he does something incorrect. And it's like, Belle gave him a chance after he kind of messed up the first time with, Helena's situation. And okay, fine, it was what it was. Yeah. And then they go again. And I can understand why Belle is so frustrated, because it's like, you couldn't wait 3 days, babe, to just at least have a conversation
with me. It's not even a full Casa Amor.
Yeah, it's even shorter.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 days Casa Amor.
Like, I want Sean to do better, but I think Sean is looking with his eyes, and Lucinda's a beautiful girl, and he's thinking, hot tamale, like I want a bit of Lucinda. I don't think he's thinking with his head. I think he's thinking with his eyes.
Do you think sometimes that he thought a bit like all his Christmases have come at once with Belle, and he was a bit like, because they are, she is like a real sophisticated and, like with Lucinda doing all like the giggly cute stuff. Do you think a lot of the time he maybe thought like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm with Belle. She's now over there with like 3 really hot American guys. Do you think maybe he was like sort of getting Lucinda as a backup to save face just in case Belle came back with someone?
I think yes and no, but I think it's kind of the other way around. Like, I kind of think Sean is sitting there and thinking, look, I'm never going to get this chance with Lucinda ever again.
That's what I think.
So let me do it now, because if Belle comes back, Lucinda might not want me anymore. Yeah. Because I'm sitting there thinking, it's not like it's Casa Amor where, someone has to get dumped. Yeah. All the USA guys came back. All the USA girls came back. You could have waited for Belle to come home to even have that conversation with her and maybe just open up that triangle again and be like, look, I want to get to know both of you. There was no need for him to cut things off so soon. There was no need for him to dump Belle. And I think it was like him thinking, look, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to get the chance again. Don't know what Belle's doing. Let me go for what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like a pattern. I don't know if you guys agree. Sean has this like snaky behavior. Like he did it with Shaq. He's done it with the Helena situation. There's a bit of like, he kind of acts on impulse and then asks for forgiveness. Yeah. He does what he wants and then he's like, I'm really sorry. And like Belle said, you can't be sorry. You messed up the first time, you messed up the second time. Like, how many times can you say, if you're sorry, you'd change?
And if you were sorry, you wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
In the first place. Like, I think, okay, everyone is open to making mistakes. Everyone deserves a second chance. I totally get that. But I think in Sean's situation, like the Helena situation, you need to learn from your mistakes. And you're not learning, you're just doing it again.
Again and again.
Yeah. See, I think a lot of the time people say, sorry. They don't explain why. I think that Sean is sorry that Belle is upset about it.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think he's sorry that he's with Lucinda.
Nope.
But then Belle's obviously thinking that he's saying, I'm sorry I've got with Lucinda. You're not sorry, are you? Like, I feel like he's like, actually, I'm really sorry that you've been this upset by this.
If she wasn't upset, he wouldn't care.
Yeah.
He'd literally be getting on with it, cracking on with Lucinda, having a jolly good time.
From special deliveries to shock bombshell entrances, another week of pre-loved with eBay means it's time for the debrief. Love, luxe, and luscious looks were served at eBay's special delivery alongside the finest authenticity guaranteed threads. Jack's Aries jacket took me back to Series 12's Cash and Love Island All-Stars Series 2's Omar, but styled simply with M&S tailored trousers and Gucci loafers. While Scott updated the Evisu Tiger jeans worn by Series 12's Ramel with a motorsport-inspired Palace bomber jacket to channel Y2K in the best way. Our gorgeous girlies, Whitney and Helena, stunned in Versace and Roberto Cavalli, while Belle and Sammy went full femme fatale in Jean Paul Gaultier and Tom Ford. But the biggest surprise? Curtis sporting Christian Dior and Lucinda in a Mercy halter-neck dress for a villa-shaking bombshell entrance. Consider me shook. For moments to remember, find your perfect party look on eBay, sponsors of Love Island All-Stars.
Now, okay, I think, what about Tommy?
Oh, nobody knows how Tommy is.
My heart breaks.
That was horrid.
I mean, I feel like we should use some of our podcast budget to hire a plane with like a sign on the back that says, Tommy, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because no one else has asked him. I mean, look, Sean did have the chat tried to have the chat with him at the fire pit in front of everyone, but I felt it should have been one-to-one.
It should have been a personal conversation. For me, it kind of felt like he was just telling the whole Villa boys, hey, this is what's happened.
Yeah. He looked like he wanted to cry when he
did.
was...
Yeah. He sat around the fire pit and heard his best mate.
Who he has ridden for him day and night.
When Scott was coming after Sean, Tommy was around that fire pit and he didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
Sticking up for him.
Nearly crying.
Yeah.
Nearly crying.
So scared.
And then he's sitting there hearing his best mate say, I fancy your girl. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't be sorry. I don't think that's fair at all. And I think, obviously, Lucinda's had the conversation, but I think it's all bad, for Sean to not even go up to Tommy, his best mate, put him for a chat and be like, bro, I know this is a bit soon and a bit like abrupt, but I just want to talk to you on a level and be like, I like Lucinda, this is what's happened. He's not said nothing.
None of them have.
No.
Even Lucinda, the person he's partnered up with,
Nothing.
hasn't said anything. Instead of
crazy.
pulling Tommy and being like, listen, I feel like I owe you an explanation.
She owes him so much.
Nothing.
Like when Tommy came back, she should have went straight to Tommy.
Straight to Tommy.
She should have went straight to Tommy. I need to talk to you. She stood there, dilly-dallied, went to grab Millie's, watched their conversation and she just stood there.
And also, as soon as the American girl started introducing themselves, she was like, did Tommy kiss anyone outside of a game?
You've not even spoken to him.
And they were like, and she's like, oh, brilliant, cool, great.
Yeah.
Like,
trying to find
that's
validation.
why you should always keep the moral high ground in Love Island. I mean, some will say that Lucinda did always say when her and Kieran sort of shut things off, and people were like, where's your attention going now? She always did say, Tommy, Sean with the side of Jack. But was that just like listing single boys in the villa? I don't know.
I mean, who else would she have picked?
Just going through the register.
Because at the time, Connor and Whitney were getting to know each other. Curtis and Millie were getting to know each other.
It's not, she didn't have much option. So let me just put them all together.
Yeah, let's just make
Dream
a little...
guy.
Exactly. But no, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Because you never know with Love Island. Like, the most unlikely of connections could end up working out for the good. Like, you never know. But from what I see a guy who really fancies a girl and a girl who's maybe kind of invested but is waiting for... I think she's going to be on Carrington. I think she's going to be on one of the American boys. I don't think Sean is going to be her endgame.
And you know what kind of, not like backs it up, but we hear Lucinda a lot of the time talking about, I just want to be with someone who's going to have a good laugh and we're not going to take it too seriously and we're just going to, have a good time. So I kind of see Lucinda as in, she just wants to have a good time with the guys she's with. I don't think she's looking at any of them in like a deep, serious way. It's more just like, I want to have fun. And Sean's up for a good time. He makes me laugh. He makes me giggle. And I think she's not thinking about like the deep emotional connection and maybe how she's making the other boys feel.
That's a fair point.
And you notice as well, a lot of people say like, I want to really meet someone to settle down with. I'm getting older. I want to have a family, yada, yada, yada. She was like, I mean, I'm coming here to meet someone who, could be a potential boyfriend.
She's not, she is not, like, she wants the laughs.
Like, I just want a boyfriend. You know what I mean?
No, I'm looking for someone that I could literally go on dates with on the outside. So, like, we go for dinner and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Tommy and Belle obviously were very respectful at Villa USA. Do we think they've made a mistake by doing that? Should they have, as we always say, time is of the essence in the villa, and now everyone's back in the main villa, so people they were with could go for other people.
Yeah.
Do you think they made a mistake by being respectful or keeping their noses clean? has worked out quite well.
To be honest, I don't think they were being disrespectful.
No.
They handled it as well as they could have. Like, they got to know their other partners. Even like Tommy and Kira had a kiss. I feel like it's not like Catherine Moore where you need to couple up with someone. So it's like if you lock in that decision, that's who you're bringing back and you and your partner are done. It's very much like open dating. So I think they handled it very well. Yes, they had a kiss, but we did see Tommy say, look, I don't want to make any rash decisions. Like, yes, I'm getting to know Kira, but, you know, I want to wait till I see Lucinda and talk about it. And same with Belle. You know, she was speaking to Carrington. It got really flirty, but she was like, I want to wait until I speak to Sean. So I think they did the best thing they could have done, to be honest.
Yeah.
They had no telling that their partners were going to do that.
And like, Belle was like, I'm not going to act out of character just because he might be doing something. Like, I'm going to hold myself to the account that I always hold myself to and the standard that I always hold myself to, so I can at least lay my head, you know, at night and be like, I'm proud of the decision I made. So I think they were very respectful. Do I think they regret it? I don't think so.
No.
From what I'm
Moral
hearing them
high
say.
ground is always the best place
Yeah.
to be. Yeah.
And also, like, what Belle is saying is true. Like, she doesn't feel guilty. Like, Sean probably feels guilty right now.
100%.
Like, she can at least, she feels bad because, like, she's the one who's hurt by it, but she doesn't feel guilty. She's done nothing wrong.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, no one's saying don't flirt. No one's saying don't chat to other people or whatever, but be respectful. Know what you're doing. And yeah, I think they handled it really well.
100%. And also, I think the way that Tommy and Belle handled their situation has also now left room for them to still speak to the Americans.
Absolutely.
Because they weren't disrespectful. They were
Absolutely.
flirty, but not to the point where it's like, I'm all over you. And they weren't distant to the point where they don't feel like interested. They've left it in a good place to be like, okay, look, it's not working out back at home. Let's pick up where we left off. So I think they've done it great.
However, I will say I don't see Belle and Carrington together.
No.
I don't, but I do think now this is going to push her over there.
I think it'll be, I don't think he's her person.
No, not all the way.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a nice flirt, like holiday situation, but I don't know. I want somebody to come in for her.
Yeah.
You know?
She's got her few, like, concerns, like, you know, the
smize.
smoothie smolder.
Yeah, the model smolder.
Talking of Belle, I feel like her blowout with Anton in my series was just the warm-up for last night. Like, wow.
Yeah.
She went for it.
Firecracker. And
Absolutely.
you know what?
I loved it.
Yeah. There's something I love about women when they are like, do you know what? I deserve better than this. And I am going to tell you exactly how I feel, word for word. And listen, Sean knew what he was getting himself into. He knew it was a risk he was going to take or whatever. And I think he sat there and took it because he knew he was in the wrong. And Belle just, she handled herself like a boss.
Yeah.
I feel like she's really brave because I did blow up when I got back from Catherine Moore and stuff, but not like that. Probably because I wasn't brave enough. And like when she sat across from Lucinda, just looking at her like, and Lucinda was like, "Don't look at me like that." And she's like, "I will.
I will look
I
at you
will."
like, yeah.
Like I would never be that brave. Like I'm a wimp. Like, and I wish I was more like Belle. Like,
She was furious.
Yeah.
I loved it. I also loved when she sat down to talk to Sean and she was like, look at me when you're talking to me. I said, come on, girl. Yes, tell him off. Get him again.
I think as well, there's been a lot of conversation if Belle has got a bit of misplaced anger. Like we did see Whitney being a really good friend, calming her down and saying, look, your issue isn't with Lucinda.
Yeah.
Like it is actually with Sean.
Yeah.
However, I think it's split down the middle. I think she has every right to beat Lucinda as much as she does with Sean. I get Whitney's point, but the only reason why I say that is because Lucinda, you were there. Like you watched me and Sean build a connection. You knew. Like you literally knew that we had a connection. You knew it was going well. You knew that I fancied him. So for you to still like pull him when I'm not there, I don't really understand it. And then Sean, you're just silly. Like you also allowed it to happen. You entertained it.
Yeah.
You didn't wait for me to come home. And it's like, you guys are both as silly as each other.
Like you said, it takes two to tango. I think Sean's was absolutely justified. Like there was no notes. I have no notes for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did the right thing.
Yeah.
With the Lucinda thing, I do kind of disagree a tiny bit because I think, yes, Lucinda shouldn't have gone about it the way she did. But at the end of the day, she's not coupled up with Belle.
That's true.
And at the end of the day, as much as Belle is annoyed at the situation, the person she's annoyed at is Sean. Because she gave him another chance. That's where the anger's coming from, you know?
Yeah.
So I think with Lucinda, I mean, it was great television. So yeah, sure, tell her off, I guess. But I think tomorrow morning when they have their chats or, you know, on the next episode, it probably will be like, listen, we'll just agree to disagree on this. I personally wouldn't have moved like that because Belle is quite, you know, like, as a woman, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I think they'll have that kind of chat. But I don't know. I feel like it was justified, but I do agree with Whitney that like your animosity right now, your anger is with Sean.
And do you know why I get that? Is because in the sense where she's coupled up with Sean, she expects more from Sean because her loyalties lie with Sean, not Lucinda. Like that's her boyfriend. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And I mean,
well, her couple partner.
Her and Lucinda, I don't know if they're that
I wouldn't
close.
say they're friends. No. I think they're just like villa mates, isn't it?
I feel like Lucinda's not really
I don't think
anyone. I don't think she has loyalty. She's kind of like, I'm here to find a boyfriend.
I mean, she said it to Sammy.
Yeah.
She said it to Sammy, they're not friends. And we've seen on the outside that they kind of were.
They are. I think Lucinda, God bless her. She's just going to do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sean, he messed up.
Yeah, he did. We saw a different side to Jack in Villa USA. He's been getting to know all three girls, Imani, Cher, and Kira. But he did piss Imani off last night. And do you know what? I hear it.
Yeah.
He wasn't really... I just don't think he really went about it in a straight and narrow way, you know? He was talking to Imani, they had a bit of a flirt, they've had a kiss, and all of a sudden, he's getting in bed with Cher, and it's like, he's not telling Imani about it. She kind of finds out when it's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm sharing bed with someone else tonight. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think he just basically didn't get any attention in the main villa. And then because they were all loving him, he's just like, yeah, amazing. I'm just going to go with everyone. But as I said last week, I worry that he's going to spread himself too thin and end up with nobody.
Yeah.
That's how it happens, isn't it?
He's kissing, 3 girls in one day.
That's crazy.
The whole bed situation. And Imani, I rightfully so was like, it hurt my feelings.
100%.
Like, it's not nice. Like, you could have just pulled me to the side and been like, oh, I kind of want to share the bed today with Cher. Like, it's a very simple, easy conversation to have, but you went about it so weirdly, and now everybody in the situation just kind of looks a bit silly. Like, you could have just told me.
Exactly.
I'm a little bit disappointed in Jack because for me, I know he's kind of had a hard time in the villa. He's trying to find a connection, and I want him to find a connection, but I want him to do it in a way where he doesn't act out of character. We've seen a very sweet side to him up until I think this point. Not saying he's behaving terribly, but I think if he continues down this path, he might be going to the school of Sean very soon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of want him to just remember the way he's been navigating himself in the villa and just go about it that way. I think we've got more to see from him. Do I think any of the American girls are actually going to stick with Jack? No.
Yeah.
With peace and love, no.
That's the thing. I think he could have had something with Imani, but I think acting so like off in the early days is kind of just ruining
Agreed.
it. Because Imani's so chill.
Yeah.
And literally, if he told her, look, I want to share a bed with someone else tonight, she'd have been fine with it. You know, she seems very easygoing and open and, you know, just getting to know him. But I think he's kind of just pissed her off too early.
Who do you think out of the Americans is going to talk to who now that the whole villa is now combined together as one?
Well, it's interesting because I thought they were going to do a recoupling at Villa USA and then they'd come back in couples and the singles would be the existing people back at the main villa, but they haven't. So it's sort of like open season.
But do you know what? I think that's kind of good though.
Yeah, it
because
is,
there's a lot of single people now in the main villa. So we are going to have some of the Americans speaking to the single people and it's going to be a big fat recoupling.
Because I want Curtis and Kira.
Right.
I think they're a good match.
Right.
Curtis is obviously still heartbroken about the whole
He's
Millie situation.
Oh my gosh.
He needs a day or two. He needs a cup of tea. He needs a bit of, you know, kumbaya moment and then he'll come back to his old self. He was salsa dancing in no time. So I want them two together. I think Yeaman and Whitney, I think they're
lock it in.
Carrington, I think he's going to be all over. I think he's going to do Lucinda. I think he's going to be with Belle. I think he's going to talk to as many people as possible.
Yeah,
and then Zach and Millie.
To be fair, he did say about Helena when he came back. He was like,
"I'm really sorry.
Yeah, really sorry." So maybe Carrington and Helena.
Yeah,
Imani.
Yes.
Who do we think?
Oh, that's a difficult one.
The thing is with that, we do know that. Obviously there's been talks about Imani and Scott, but I just don't think it's going to happen because they've been there and done that.
Yeah.
But whatever happens, that villa is packed full. Like, there is not enough beds. I feel like Millie and Curtis are going to be in a bed together with Zach on like a rollout next to them, like holding Millie's hand. Well, I think what we've got coming up is a big fat recoupling.
I agree.
And it's going to be the
whole episode.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to be doing the recoupling, the boys or the girls?
And do the Americans get to pick first?
Yeah.
There are so many possibilities. Well, that's all we've got time for this morning. Sarel, have you enjoyed your first morning with us?
I have loved it. You guys have been amazing. Oh,
see you tomorrow.
We'll be here tomorrow, so don't forget to drop us a comment and let us know what you think, because we've got far too many people and not enough beds.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.